live?
Not yet, I'm just active.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well done. Yeah.
Steve, is this?
Alright.
Steve?
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
Alright, Kev.
Nice to meet you.
Aye, nice to meet you. Kev Waring.
Nice to meet you, mate.
I've been watching his eye.
Thank you. What's your channel?
What?
What's your
Just Kev Waring.
Kev Waring?
Aye.
Mate.
The first event down here, like, so.
They're good these, aren't they?
I'm only just getting it. I'm just like, does it fucking
Yeah,
work? Or
massively.
what?
Helps the.
Awesome at the pace of kit.
Just,
What's your chance? Not there. Subject, is it?
subject.
I
subject
thought that's the
access.
one. Aye.
Put yourself in there, mate. Roasting.
Aye, definitely.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I just have to reset the stream. Sun's out, time's out. Alright, mate, I'm gonna have a wander. Nice to meet you.
Right, what you doing? Hi guys, welcome to Hull. Beautiful sunny day, as you can see, the sun's practically blinding us. Petition and prayer today, so hopefully it all goes well. I'm just here to catch some footage for you all, see how the day goes.
There's two more over there hanging about.
Oh, there'll be.
There's what's room fucking kettling us in
Well,
here.
that's
already.
Oh yeah, that's what you can see. That's going to happen. Aye, me too, definitely. I thought there would be as well.
Manchester. There's still 20 minutes yet. They might be turning up fashionably late.
My lad's job is training police, about IEDs and dirty smart bombs and viruses, right? And he won't wear a mask.
Tells you something, doesn't it?
So, it's not an assembly though, is it? They don't know the law.
Well, most of them don't, do they?
There's no virus.
Of course not.
Like my lad
You
said,
all know
right?
this.
They haven't, what do they call it? They haven't got it to look at it. What do they call it? That isolated it. He said, so where is it?
The thing about this, it hasn't just turned up this year. This has been all through our life for years, this coronavirus. It's just absolute
1922.
bullshit. Aye, first found then, so we've lived with like the flu. It's not as bad as the flu. It's trying to get out of the people's head
My
though.
family seats up the northeast,
Uh-huh.
on the Barnard.
Oh, Barneycastle. Aye.
Jock names, brothers Robert Bruce,
Uh-huh.
Anna Leslie, and the other brother Andrew.
Yeah, excellent
I always
stuff.
like it when I go up there, feel at home.
Aye. Everyone's nice and friendly up our way.
Yeah.
Always got time for each other.
I had a mate at home, a big plaster about that big from Newcastle. But he don't believe none of this. He's a dick.
Right, it's all going to come out, you know.
You don't realise,
big smoke.
that they are actually traitors. If they're acting against the under the government's acting as traitors. If they're acting against for them, then they're
They
traitors.
want to be with us.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is.
They forget that their job is to protect you
Aye.
and me, not them.
No, they're all for themselves.
But it's going to go, they don't realise, do they, when it's struck back, they'll be in jail. I know some coppers now, they're glad they got out. I'm a soul man, me, you know the soul. one of the girls I've been going with for what, 30 years more. She's a mounted police. She said, I can't fucking wait to get out. She said, you can't act right, you do it, say this, you do it, say that. It's all left wing. You know. And he shouldn't be wearing a mask. If they said to him, go and sit outside and suck your police car exhaust for fucking 8 hours, would you?
Right. Fucking off them what?
Yeah, like you say, on them respirators, right, they have an anti-filter in them, so any spitter out like that doesn't go back down your throat. You know, separate. So you don't breathe back in any shit like that. So you're just breathing your shit back in. And it also breeds fungal infection that you can take back into your lungs. So really, they shouldn't be wearing them.
Well, that's the thing, I mean, we're supposed to be expelling all this fucking carbon dioxide out of our body. They're just breathing it back. What the fuck? They're poisoning themselves or what? Do you know what they're doing?
My lad won't wear one at home, and they tried to do it. They won't, and all the sergeants got together and said, no, we're not doing it. Because he said, he spent 5 years training me with scientists and everything else to tell me I need a mask. He said, so all these years I've been doing all this stuff, all I need was a bit of fucking paper on my face. You know, fucking joke.
Well, you can have a quick walk about. Catch another bit, Matt.
The football is a great place anyway, but please each other, for me, give each other a little bit of space.
Listen, this guy here is born in Canada, right? He's saying like Northern Ireland, Wales, and the Queen's our Commonwealth. Of course he is. Yeah, the Commonwealth. And all these places saying like Queen in charge of Northern Ireland. Of course he is.
Well, that's the people who are their opinions, aren't they?
All these people are going to be up there later on, like shouting and everything. They're going to fucking out. This guy here from Canada in Toronto is saying our Queen, our Macron, is in charge of the Commonwealth in Canada. He's going to be up there. Is that right, though, is it? The Queen is the United Kingdom, isn't she?
He doesn't believe in that.
He's saying the Queen is on the Queen of England.
That's his opinion.
I don't believe in England, I believe in England. You're president of here, Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England. And this guy is from
The Queen doesn't sign our laws anymore, though, does she?
Shouting and bawling. Our Queen's got nothing to do with Canada. Our Queen is the head of Commonwealth in Canada. What's he on about then?
But that's his opinion, isn't it?
It's fact.
Well, that's fact, it's fact, but if he doesn't believe in the Commonwealth, he doesn't believe in the Commonwealth.
He's going to go up there today.
Oh yeah.
different backdrop, but it's better.
Yeah.
It's a lot better, 100%.
The light better.
Yeah, I can see you, Andy. I couldn't see you on that one. Right in front of you, saying hello to you.
Hello.
Sorry, mate.
How you doing?
Bugger.
Trying to get.
Come and see the deer, guys.
Really well. Hello.
Hello there, all right? Lovely to meet you.
All right, how are you? Yes, yeah, how are you?
Bad show bodies, to be fair, all things considered. He's looking a lot more promising.
All right, my lovely.
It's in a good time out, is it?
Not at the moment.
Never is.
That's right.
Never is. I was
Well,
over the moon with Fiona brought up yesterday that you was coming here today. Is she here yet, Fiona? Fiona Rose Diamond?
I don't think so. Is that the Irish lady?
And Dolores, you know the doctor? meant to be here today.
Shimon pulled out.
Kate Schumann, oh, she's a lovely lady.
Pulled out, and
Because she had her own stuff to do, didn't she?
and John Hurst.
Well, I'm surprised she's not here.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to see her.
Alright, I'll send Yasmin a tenner. Okay. Alright, darling.
Who's speaking today?
I'm not sure. I think there's a couple of dropped out, but I'm not sure who's there.
Jodie, man.
I am
You come from Newcastle as well?
right, close, Peterlee.
Bless you, I used to live there.
Never.
With my family many years ago.
Aye.
Peterlee.
Ah, that's where I'm born and bred.
Nice to
Peterlee.
meet you, son.
Nice to meet you.
And you, sweetheart. My name's Diane.
Diane, I'm
What's
Kevin.
your- Kevin. Lovely to meet you, love.
Andrew, excellent.
Great-minded people, innit? This
Whereabouts
is
in
so
Peterlee you
cool.
from?
Oh, I can't remember.
Right, I bet you it's changed the
And
kind of
South
bit,
Shields, we used to holiday in South Shields.
That's where my dad's side's from, South Shields.
Well, my name
Sand dancers.
We was Robinsons.
Ah, Warens.
God,
The
yeah.
Warens, aye.
Oh, it's great to see you.
Excellent.
I think it's I think Hull is just so asleep. It's unreal, my mate.
I think everywhere's at the minute. We just need to waken people up about this.
And I'm trying.
What's going on?
I'm trying. It's like they think, because I smoke marijuana, they think I'm off my head.
Yeah, just. It's the best bloody medicine, man, isn't it?
But I've got
Cures
cancer.
all
I have
things.
cancer, so
All right, sorry.
I have it for that. Oh no, my mend me,
Oh,
my friend.
good.
That wrote the Fiona. She put a statement out to Facebook saying she was going to be here today, and that really shocked me.
Uh-huh.
And they're part of the big group, you know, when they had the big protest at London. Fiona, Dolores.
Uh-huh.
They was meant to be here today, but they're not here. Unless they're just
I think
gonna...
there's still, I think there's a lot of people still coming down. I just made sure I was here about an hour early, just to make sure I'm not
How you got here then? How you got here?
Car.
You come by yourself?
Aye.
Bless you. Wow. Well, I've been round this town shouting tyranny and lies, and they've all looked at me like my head's gone. I was going to come today with my Q mask and all that, you know. I'm really glad I've met you.
Yeah.
Well done, people. Where are we? We're in Hull City Centre, Queen Victoria. Standing behind me, actually not that one, kind of corner on the top there. So this is not a demonstration, this is not a rally. This is none of the things that they say or want to say it is. This is a petition to Her Majesty the Queen and Her Majesty's Parliament and Government. The petition is authorised by the English Common Law Constitution. In particular, the Declaration of Rights 1688, the Bill of Rights of 1689, and the Coronation Oath Act of 1688, the Act of Settlement of 1701, and in the name of our ancestors that fought and died for these rights.
Yes.
Now I'm an Englishman, and you're all English men and women. Hull is one of the greatest English cities in England. It's got a lot of history, and one of the things that people don't know about Hull is it had one of the best telecommunication networks in the world. It was completely separate from British Telecom. and it rivaled the City of London. And that's why your network was sold off. It was sold off because Hull was a threat to London and the City of London. There's a lot of things that people don't know about what's going on, but what we need to do is talk about England. As you know, I am a journalist with the English Press Association. Journalists just like me and many others that are standing there with their cameras, live to YouTube and other mediums, they are journalists. There are no edits. We don't edit anything, we show you what you actually see is what we see. And that's what a real journalist should do.
Here.
Yeah.
We all know that the COVID-19 virus has never, and it's in the court at the moment with Robin Tilbrook of the English Democrats and others, it has never been isolated or proven. They are using COVID to take your rights away from you. And those rights are given to you by God, and they have been transcribed into this. There was a civil war just before this that literally the whole of England fought in. And not long after, King William and Queen Mary come over from Holland. They was actually heading to the north of England because where the support was against London was in the north. And the winds of the day blew the fleet into Brixton in Devon. 12,000 soldiers got off their boats with their horses and they rode to London. Now there is a story behind that, and the story is that the English army swapped sides, and the reason for that was because he was asked to come here because of the tyranny from London and a particular king who threw the English seal into the River Thames and run off. Well actually he rode off down the Thames. The point being, everybody that's here today is standing here today with the full protection of their civil rights and liberties. The Coronation Oath Act of 1688 has been sworn by every monarch since 1688 and the Glorious Revolution. It means something to every Englishman and every English woman. The Queen swore to uphold our common law, customs and the treaties of the past. All of that is in the Coronation Oath Act.
You stop calling my fucking team, mate. You got a cunt over here from Toronto, right, on about our fucking Queen. She fought for this fucking country. I don't need you stand here fucking giving it fucking no, right?
Move on, mate,
The girl over there, the guy here, fucking, she's not. What? You're calling my fucking Queen. No, you're calling my fucking Queen. What are you doing? The Queen's the Commonwealth. The Queen is the end of the Commonwealth, right? The Queen is the end of the Commonwealth.
Give him it.
Yeah.
The Queen of England.
No, the Queen of the UK.
No, there is.
Fucking moron.
Get him down!
You're now letting down every single one.
See ya! Jog on! Jog on! See ya! Will, get him off!
Yeah, carry on, Graham.
Time to leave, man. Time to leave. Time to go. Time to go.
There's always one idiot.
Bye-bye.
Coronation Oath Act. Her Majesty the Queen swore an oath to protect our rights. And she swore an oath in Westminster. The people that are letting the Queen down are the Privy Council, the politicians of the British Parliament who are taking away our rights. If you read this history, you'll understand that what happened in 1688 is happening now. Evil councillors and evil advisors have taken control of the monarchy. So I am in support of the monarchy to a point. The Bill of Rights, 1688. We had 3 main rights in this document that support us being here today.
She's the Queen!
The right to petition. That is the right of the subject to petition the king, and all commitments and prosecutions for such petitioning are illegal. That means that no arrest can lawfully take place for being here. The next one is what's known as excessive bail, contained in the Bill of Rights. This is such an important document, and I'm going to get back to the Queen in a couple of minutes. That excessive bail ought not to be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishments inflicted. Grants of forfeiture.
My skin not working.
I'll get you.
Right, nice one.
That all grants and promises of fines and forfeitures of a particular person before conviction are illegal and void. That's extremely important in the Bill of Rights. Now, I'm going to say this last part from the Bill of Rights and then explain something to people. Clause 2 of the Bill of Rights states, non-obstances made void. No dispensation by non-obstante of any statute or any part thereof shall be allowed, but the same shall be held void and of no effect, except a dispensation be allowed in such statute. Now, Her Majesty the Queen, in July 1988, spoke to both houses, meaning the Commons and the House of Lords. And she made a declaration to the House, and that declaration stated that the Bill of Rights is in full force. The Bill of Rights is the foundation of our liberties and freedoms in England. She then purposely went to Brixham in Devon, to the point where King William landed, and she honoured King William for that. The point we're making, simply, is the Acts of Union of 1707. The Tories, which were the party of the time, it was the Whigs and the Tories, have systematically destroyed, or tried to destroy, virtually every right there. And it's culminated in this coronavirus and other acts that tell you, they say, that you can't be here. Your Bill can be here tells you that you are English men and women, and the people of this country died in world wars for these rights.
Yes.
These are just three of the constitutional statutes that exist that Parliament cannot change and cannot alter. The Bill of Rights states 4 times. 3 times it says forever, and 1 time it says in this realm forever. So the answer is, if you look at the Act of Settlement, which is another statute, a constitutional statute. I'll read you the first part. The laws and statutes of the realm confirm, and whereas the laws of England are the birthright of the people, therefore, and all the kings and queens who shall ascend the throne of this realm ought to administer the government of the same, according to the said laws, and all the officers and ministers ought to serve them respectively according to the same. What does that mean? That means that the British Parliament, with the COVID regulations do not trump your civil liberties and your right and your Bill of Right to be here today. You have seen extreme violence towards the people of London by the riot squad, most of whom are Europeans. Let's just say they're not English. That riot squad has literally, and I've witnessed it myself, drawn their batons and battered people on the floor for standing exactly what you're doing now, your freedom of speech, your constitution, and standing up for your rights. So I'm going to say one other thing to everybody that's here at the moment. There was an extremely important judgment. That judgment was because a man in Sunderland stood up to the British government, and it was all over a pound of bananas. He stood up, and it was called the Metric Martyrs case, because he said, I'm selling a pound of bananas, I've done it all my life, I've got up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day of my life and served the people of this community in pounds and ounces, and I am not changing that for you or anyone else. So they gave him a criminal record for that. He then took it to the High Court, and the High Court made a judgment, and the judgment was this, and it was Lord Chief Justice Lord who stated that no Parliament can change a constitutional statute by impliedly repealing. In other words, what these documents actually state, the Lord Chief Justice said, you must tell the people when you are removing any of their Bill of Rights or any of their rights that are constitutionally theirs, not yours, not the Parliament. That guy eventually lost, but the judgment was for him, and the judgment, in effect, the Lord Chief Justice told people, you can't just change these. These are ours. They were fought for, right? You cannot change these. One of the maxims of English law is ignorance is no defence. That means when you produce the Bill of Rights, and you produce the coronation oath, and you say to people, I have constitutional rights and this is what they are, if a police officer then proceeds, you can proceed against that officer. And that's the law of the land, right? And I'm not suggesting in any way that you should be rude to police officers. They used to be trained in this. They used to train police officers in your constitutional rights. Before they could come on the street, they had to serve 2 years on probation and then be examined on the Constitution before they was allowed to come and speak to you without supervision. Where's it gone? Well, I'll tell you where it went. I'll tell you where it went, people. In the late 60s and the early 70s, they removed the Constitution from the curriculum so your children don't know their rights. People like me who have studied the real law, not these idiot free men and all that, I'm not into that. I'm telling you, these are real laws. The point being, people, You have to stand up and take these rights back from the British Parliament. You have to
Yes! Yes!
That horn that's being blown is an old English custom. And the custom of the horn in the villages was when the vagabonds come in, the undesirables, everyone blew a whistle. That's where police officers used to have whistles. Who remembers that? Because they blew their whistle for members of the public to come and help them.
Yeah.
That's what they was for. But now, you go to London, peacefully sit down, and there is a bloodbath by the riot squad in London, dressed up as paramilitaries against defenceless women, children and men standing up for their rights.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is remembrance, and we will all be remembering the men and women that died in those wars to protect these rights. And no one is going to take these rights off us. We are going to stand up and we will take this back.
Yeah!
Yay!
Good!
Just come back from Frankfurt. I said, I can't believe you. I said you was on in bloody Frankfurt, not last night, the night before, doing Agadoo.
Forget about.
Kev, I'll catch you later.
Right.
Take care, love. I'll get you there.
You haven't got a spare lead, have you?
One, two.
For a battery charger. You haven't got a lead, have you?
Hello, Hull.
Hello.
I think I'm the wrong side of the pennines here, to be honest. But I hope I get a warm welcome as such. Because I do actually like your recording, you know what I mean? And my name is Mick, and I served for 30 years. I spoke at Trafalgar when we had huge crowds, but what I've learned in life is that you don't actually need that many people to change the world. You just need a real reason to do it. And an opportunity to put your thoughts out there, right? Because when I first started to watch what was going on with this current situation with COVID, remember that my job in the military was to prepare people mentally and physically for war, and I did that for a long time. I was a member of the Army Physical Training Corps. And of course there were only 330 of us throughout the British forces. So each one of us could go to any unit. And our job was to make sure they were ready to fight and they were fit to fight. I've eaten a couple of pies since then, so I've lost my edge. But guess what, we all have our day, right? Right. But what I started to notice with all of this was that I felt that we were being conditioned, because I used to condition soldiers exactly the same way. We would reward them, we'd punish them, we'd punish the few because of the many, we would get the many to blame the few. And all of these really were just the hallmarks of something that I recognise to be a system of systematically changing people behaviourally. And so what did I do? I'm not a scientist, but I'm an analyst. I used to design trainings that had no training deficiency.
I'll be back.
And some
Just
of the
kind of
programs that I designed then are still used by the armed forces today. I have the capacity, like all these guys have,
wonder why I'm heading off. I've left a cable in the car. My battery's going to die. A couple of percent left on my battery, so if it guns off, it guns off until I get my cable to charge my battery up. Hoping for a bit more to turn out today, but unfortunately not. Graham's given a fantastic speech there. Daddy Dragon, YouTube, get yourselves over. We've got subject access, and we've got Tracy XXTWXX. Get onto the YouTube, check them out. Next thing, where's the car park? Where have I parked the car? I didn't think I'd park this far away. This fucking battery pack's gonna pull these fucking trousers down. Is the car coming? Yeah. Right, is that charging? Right, aye. Back in action. There will be a walkway, just I fucking don't know where it is. Oh, sorry. Now.
I still go back to the one thing. You've got to ask what's in it for them. And more importantly, how will it impact on me? Because I see lots of soldiers on mental health programs that are now suffering neurological damage as a result of what they received.
Yeah, tell me why, mate.
Being one of them. Which they tried to deny, but couldn't. Because the evidence was there. But what they did was they gave them a nice backhander and moved them on, but nothing like what they should have received. What price can you play, what price can you put on a healthy life? Do you know the best vaccine for what's going on? Exercise, good sleep, great food, a bit of fun.
And turn the fucking telly off. Media's the fucking worst.
When I work with international sports people and I produced a number of Olympians, I've worked with some of the teams that were preparing for the World Cup. When we look at resilience as a component of fitness, those are the things we're talking about, not additives and all the other bits. So for me, as I start to go through my journey, why am I making a representation? Because I care enough to stand out and make a difference. I can tell you now, talking about it will not change it. The fact that you're here today is huge. I mean, I travelled up about 3 hours away today just to get here, because I'm that passionate about it. As we go forward, we have to finish here, because I personally, with a number of other people, are going to make a representation to the Surgeon General. And we're going to serve the Surgeon General a notice of liability. What does that mean? It means we're going to tell him that when he decides to vaccinate our troops down line, we're already aware of the potential damage, and he will be held responsible personally for it.
It's all right.
And guys, if we don't start doing that, if we don't start saying no, and we don't just get back to our daily lives, you'll be locked down forever. But if you honestly believe that I trust Boris Johnson,
There's no more training.
to me,
Unless they're all lived around the
I've
corner.
done an awful lot of leadership programs. I worked at the Military Academy Sandhurst, the Staff Officer 2, responsible for PA and RT. And my job there was to assess leaders for the qualities. And I can tell you now, I would only follow Boris and his team out of curiosity. Because you know something's going to happen, don't you?
Oh yeah.
And I can guarantee it will lead to an element of money and power. That old chestnut, right? Because money and power, all that simply does is it amplifies what you value. It amplifies who you really are. It gives you permission to be more of who you really are. If you're a nice guy and you love people, guess what? You'll do more of that. But if you're a bit of a chopper, you'll do the opposite. So with this journey going forwards now, once we've presented this, we're also looking at getting warriors and getting soldiers out onto the streets. That's what we're doing.
Good man.
And mark my word,
Get the militias going.
there's an awful lot of conversation going on behind the scenes. Because let me tell you something about veterans. They're not stupid. They've been dropped on more times than you can imagine. They've been led to believe that they're going to war for a reason. And by the way, when you're in war, guys, you don't fight for your country. You fight for the man to the left and the man to the right. Because you're taking care of their arses and they're taking care of yours. And you know, what worries me the most, having worked with the police, I worked with the police at Suffolk and I worked with the police at Kent, and there's some really nice people in the police force. We don't often get to see that. We don't often get to see it. But the challenge that I have is, when someone starts to impact on your livelihood, it's natural that you take care of your own family first. And I personally believe that the police are our brothers and they're our sisters. And it's the government that turns them into agents, no one else. I've seen this myself. So therefore, I can't imagine a situation when you start talking about defunding police and doing stuff like that. For me, that is completely crazy. Because I wouldn't want to live in a society without them. But equally, the people that control what we do are the ones that create the policies, right? And you know, when you step into a situation with a group of people, you become strong, but you also become an agent, don't you? And sometimes, you know, one of the most important assets to have as a soldier, as a serving policeman, is the ability to stand up and say, I don't believe in this. And that's why a lot of soldiers, you go into combat, anything up to 30% of a regiment when they come back from combat will leave the services. You know why? Because the reality of what happened is nothing like what they imagined would happen. And of course, they became agents for a period of time until they started to realise that the communities they were trying to change were actually trying to feed the kids and get on with life. And in reality, you had no place there. Now, some people might agree with that, I'm not agreeing with it. That's absolutely fine. Democracy is about having different opinions. One of the things that saddens me about this situation is, I haven't seen one open debate yet with all our academics.
You're right.
I haven't seen one. All I've heard about is that we get advice from saying, but I'm not even convinced that's happening. So here's the question.